I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't run, change the back.
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, 946 episodes. Tuesdays we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are ready to have some fun today, and I'm happy to be back in Pittsburgh, back in the studio, and should be for at least a month here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we're going to take a day off in April, but there's a very, very good reason for that. It has nothing to do with this show. But we do have what's with us this week. It is the newly shaven Riz.
I didn't do this last week.
Oh, you getting it in early? Okay.
I'm just getting
all right,
it
there's
early
the Bradley. Now. Okay. The Bradley and the pole. The Bradley and the pole. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. You got it in. You feel good now? You feel complete? You know, I'm sorry to leave you hanging. We didn't have that capability last week with
I could I have a whole bunch of other pictures here.
We're trying some different software at the time. You have a whole bunch of pictures there. Hold on. Watch yourself, because intern John has been obsessed with the muscular eagle on the social media lately. So I don't watch what you're starting here. We also have with us at the time of the booking was the current TNF champion, but then Thursday happened. It's the unwilting Tatiana Don't Call Me Rose.
Yeah, Thursday happened.
Yeah. So some guy named John cashed in some battle royal from like Thanksgiving that we all forgot about, except that he kept telling us about it.
You forgot about it?
It's not that we forgot about it. It's just he kept demanding to everybody that he was going to go after the tag team championships.
Yeah. There's a whole thing.
And, honestly, shame on me for genuinely thinking he meant that.
Chat room, fuck that guy named John.
Correct.
And it's also never too early for a Bradley.
Never.
Also, I hope Bradley's feeling better. I know he had an 880 flu that lasted like a week. He didn't even go to wrestling this past weekend. So,
oof.
You.
Yeah, that flu do be spreading this
I hear it's
year.
going around. Maybe I should go get my shot before I'm traveling some more. Anyways, but yeah, no, but you do now. While your great run, we'll talk about more about your run here with the TNF Championship here late in the show. But in the meantime, you did happen to find yourself with another piece of gold.
Well, as it turns out, the TNF Championship is not, or rather was not, the only championship that I've been holding.
Mm-hmm.
I am the current reigning and defending OCW Women's Championship.
There you go. That's a shiny belt.
It's a shiny belt. It's very pretty. It's got little purple stones on it.
Oh, look at that. Okay. I don't know. Yeah,
that
that does come out on the video. Oh, good.
It is gorgeous.
Nice.
It is probably one of the nicest belts that I've ever had the privilege of defending. And this past Saturday, I had a pretty good championship match against Natalie May. Mm-hmm. And as you can see, I came out successful in that round. Technically, I was successful on Thursday, too.
Yeah, so we'll get back to that. There's a lot of stuff around that I definitely want to get into, including who your other opponent was for the night, because I thought that was an interesting story too. But anyways, let's get into the stuff that's going on generally in professional wrestling, and mostly this week we're talking about souls. Your soul, my soul, Cody Rhodes' soul, and how it all belongs to The Rock. So that was the biggest thing. Well, go ahead, Riz.
I mean, yeah, it kind of does.
Right?
Because we're already giving him money.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, The Rock came out, and everybody found out. I love. What was it? I saw TJ, the former Tyson Kidd, I think, was saying he found out that The Rock was coming when everybody else did on social media.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, that's how kind of sudden they apparently at least announced it, for things and kept it under wraps until I think they may have not even announced it until the day of, was it? Maybe the night before. Time is getting really, really fishy right now. But no, he comes out and has this great promo. The half an hour Rock promo, by the way. But we had a Cody entrance in there as well. So announced WrestleMania is coming to New Orleans next year. So I'm very excited about that. Hoping to have an opportunity to get down there as long as my schedule works out. And but not as late as this year, by the way. Was it the 11th and 12th? I think it is on April next year. That's important to me, and I'm probably the only one that cares. Also, did you know WrestleMania is on Easter this year?
Oh, God, I hate that a lot.
Yeah, that's causing some issues in my family right now, actually. Mom, actually.
I'll be right back. Don't mind me for the next few hours.
It's just
I'm not going to be here.
Listen, this is about souls and resurrection. So, I mean, it's really kind of on the right path here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a stretch. That's such a stretch.
I had a conversation this week. Because listen, there's a thing with my family. There's nothing to do with wrestling, but I just want to let you know of this conversation that I had for some reason, and I don't know why this thing stopped over here. What is happening? Why did we lose this? Oh no, that's an important backup drive. We're gonna fix that in a moment on a break or something. But anyways,
just get me monologuing about something in a minute.
I think the hard drive just filled is what happened, so I'm gonna fix that too. No, there was an issue where there was a thing where I was really upset driving up to Christmas because I'm like, I want a Reese's peanut butter tree on Christmas. And I go to Sheetz up here, well north of the city.
Should be relatively easy to find. Or
You would think that. You know what I found instead of trees?
oh no,
Eggs. In December.
in December?
In December.
I hate that.
I
Not even. Wait, did you skipped over hearts?
We just skipped it. Wait, I don't think that they have hearts. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
hearts.
because Reese's does like the little Reese's hearts for Valentine's Day.
Well, they were eggs. And so the conversation came up just yesterday as we were talking at Easter. If there's a different, if they taste different, then if the trees taste different than the eggs.
The ants.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, did not mean to.
I want to know your version of this answer, and I'll give you mine. This has nothing to do with wrestling, but I think people will have fun with it.
So the answer is yes. There is a difference in taste based on the different shapes that these companies will like create their chocolate, specifically with Reese's, because you have multiple elements of flavor there. You have the peanut butter and you have the chocolate. With the trees, because you have those little because you have those edges, more chocolate will typically get caught up in the corners. So you get a little bit of a sweeter taste. Whereas with the egg, because it's got the rounded edges, it just all kind of slides off. So it's more peanut buttery.
You are not technically wrong. But here's my answer. One taste of birth and the other of resurrection. And then they asked me what the what do they do?
Oh,
What are the
God,
Halloween ones? What are the Halloween ones?
The jack-o'-lanterns?
The pumpkins. The pumpkins. Yes, the pumpkins version of Reese's are the chaos of the human soul. And then we can move on to wrestling here in The Rock. Anyways,
I'm telling that pun to my boyfriend. He'll get so mad about it.
this is in my family chat, by the way.
That's so good. I'm proud of that. That's so good.
So, it's just since we went down there. But anyways, no. So now we have a wrinkle of interest here because it's just like, oh, who is Cody going to face? Is it going to be John Cena? But now there's so many layers like a freaking onion to this thing now. Will Cody turn? He's getting kind of crazy. You know, is he going to be the guy that does it? You know, Seth kind of faced off with him on we got a lot of like soul stories going on now because Sami Zayn in his ongoing blood feud with Kevin Owens has a Killer Cross. No, what is his name on this one? Is it Karrion Kross?
Karrion Kross.
Okay,
Yes.
I can't remember his current name. Is doing the "You're not actually a good guy" promos. You know, and I can't not hear Jesse Ventura when I hear his promos now because of his impressions. But even Will Sasso's doing an impression of Bret Hart from when he faced him at WCW. I just watched today, and it was like, this sounds a lot like Jesse Ventura, actually. So, but every good wrestling promotion actually is a little bit of Jesse Ventura, probably.
But I just want to point out that Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is entering the third decade.
What is it, like 15 years since the Ladder War or something?
It's just like, guys,
older than me.
I think
Yes.
I think you need to throw the towel in on this relationship.
But that's the beautiful thing. Like, this has to get to WrestleMania. Like that is the culmination. It
has
it's
to. But
perfect.
how are they going to do it?
You know, that's how the ROH run went. They went to the top as tag team, split up, and had an epic feud, right? So like a killer kill each other feud. And this is what this is. I cannot fathom a way that this match ends in a way that, like, this is not done. They're not just doing a one-off here. There's no way. And maybe it doesn't have the Mania. Maybe it comes back at SummerSlam because they're like, we're going to put Sammy out for like 6 months or something, you know? Who knows? Who freaking knows? But ideally, this has got to lead to Mania, right? It has to. Okay, it's happening in Toronto. You know, it's got to be, we need them at Mania. I don't care if there's a stipulation or not. It needs to happen at Mania. That's the culmination of everything, is them making it with this feud. Like, the most persistent multi-company feud I think anybody has ever had.
I don't know what's more baffling. The fact that they're so good at telling this story that it's been going on for this long, and I'm still wholly invested, or the fact that Kevin Owens' storyline is not how we met Sami Zayn's wife.
What?
So like Sami Zayn was like super protective about his family, and like he like finally like introduced his wife somewhat, like, you know, kissed her, acknowledged her, which was great. And it wasn't because of Kevin Owens. And that just, it's baffling to me. It's like, wait a minute. You're going to introduce the love of your life, the person that you have kept her identity so secret that it was actually in question for about a decade if you were actually married or not. And you're going to reveal her not in your feud with Kevin Owens. Damn. Okay. Okay.
Usually, I didn't know all that background actually. So, but yeah, no, I think it is exciting, and I love that the as I like to say, the main event of Elimination Chamber will be the Cody giving Rock his answer. So, like, that's why we're tuning in. Apparently,
It has a graphic and everything.
it has a graphic. Yeah, listen. This is like when I saw the verses of Norm Connors and Julia from last week. And I'm like, is Norm Connors gonna wrestle Julia? That'll be weird, you know. But it was for a promo. It was for a promo segment. I think we only have one template at RWA right now. Anyways,
I want so badly for like Cody to go full like crazy, kind of the way he did on Being the Elite, where like everybody thought that he was going to leave ROH and go to WWE.
Yeah.
And you know, people were right. They were just off by a year. But he was doing that whole bit where like he was going crazy and like he had the ghost eyes and was
where he gets possessed. Like,
and he was like doing the fun facts about the WWE. I want that. But I want it to be about TNA. I want it to be about TNA and Ring of Honor. Just like start pushing fun facts. Did you know that AJ Styles was once stuck in what is considered one of the worst storylines in professional wrestling history? And somebody goes, shut up.
You know what? This crossover, it's actually mentioning TNA. They're mentioning in the chat room. Tina's saying from Seattle, Roadblock is starting to look like Worlds Collide right now. They're setting up for Moose versus Oba Femi at Roadblock. Okay. This NXT TNA thing now is to the point where I'm like, I can't sleep on TNA because then I can't watch NXT the next week because it's all programmatic together. And it's just like the Hardys are getting challenged over here. Wesley just popped up over here. Cora Jay's doing some stuff here and here and here. Moose is now over here. Fandango came back for a week and was Fandango for a minute, you know, like fantastic. Every time I hear, because I already heard some of the releases, Ezekiel. Wait, what is he
He's
now?
Elijah
He's Elijah
right
now. Okay.
Yes.
Is just popped up and teamed with Joe Hendry.
Even though like
That's amazing.
even though he was walking around with God, who
The Righteous.
The Righteous.
Yeah, the Righteous.
And I'm not caught up. I'm like 2 weeks behind, which means I also have a third episode with Worlds Collide of ROH to catch up with. But still, like, so I haven't seen like these in play what they were doing there. Like, did they snatch them? Is it a one-off? What is the deal, right? So who knows?
I don't know, but like I swear to God, if Elijah is the reason, is how we get some sort of bridge, no matter how tiny it may be, between the WWE and AEW. Like, imagine like we get that bridge. It's through TNA, but it is a bridge. If he's the reason we get that, I'm gonna be so.
I think the TNA relationship's pretty done right now, actually. With AEW, no, they kind of went off the table when they started teaming up with the WWE.
Yeah.
Like Tony Khan's still mad about like WWE. WWE gave him shit about something like the day that he was at his mother's funeral, and I think he's taking it personally because that was brought up.
What is it about WWE doing dumb shit to people on like insanely important days of their life?
I think
because they fired CM Punk on his wedding.
Yeah. I think I think this is not a slight directly at WWE, but I think that wrestling people are really fucking mean sometimes. So you know.
Oh no, mean wrestlers, who would have guessed?
I know, and vindictive, and very big fuck yous and things like that. So I think it's something like that. So, but no, we'll talk a little bit more about this. But in the meantime, we'll make sure we don't go too far here. I guess unwilling Tatiana.
Hello.
I forgot a follow-up thing and I almost said your old name again. So I don't know why I started thinking of it today. I was like don't say this, and I had to get it out there. Anyways, Thank you, everybody that does support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. We throw some extra content up there when I'm not traveling, and we also have a super feed going between the Awesome Cast and this, so you can see all was BSing about whatever in between or anything like that, and we just go to the other room for the secrets. But go check it out, patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Thank you, everybody that does support the show at the fan of the show level. Bo Diggity! Woo! As well as Team Hammerfest, Tupac family, Bubba Brewer of the Triple B Podcast and APWF, and Jason French at the Pop Club level, Dave Prop Pop Bonner, Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid, the Pizza Club level, The Riz, and at the manager level, Bradley. And there he is, exposed for us all. You guys support the show too, and we can say your name on the show at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Let's talk about, I don't know if I want to bear this in the show or not. You know what? Let's talk about this part. Mm-hmm. I saw a TikTok today, and people have been complaining about, of course, the prices of tickets in at WrestleMania. People complaining about the, allegedly, I saw something that maybe the tickets for Toronto for Elimination Chamber weren't going too hot right now. And then, we've been, kind of pontificating over the last year. How does this hot streak go with WWE, right? Is it going to continue to keep breaking records, breaking gates and everything? And as they're raising prices, that helps them break the gates, and break those records a little bit. But also, there was a really good TikTok that really kind of broke this down and illustrated. This is some kind of, that is a link to the Stardom announcement. Well, that's lost now, but I will try to use my memory berries because I watched this about 2 hours ago. 3 hours ago, probably. But it was kind of breaking down the idea that, WWE is really hot right now. And along with being really hot, and I think some of that connection with TKO, it feels like, obviously they're pushing the prices up of these tickets and everything, right? You're seeing that. Again, I think what the nosebleeds of WrestleMania, and this is the point where I'm not even sure, and I was a really big, I want to go to WrestleMania every year. That is a sticking point for me. And this year it's like $300 a night for the back row. You know what I mean? It seems pretty wild. On top of getting to Vegas across the country is going to be pricey. Hotels shouldn't be that bad because it's Vegas. But who knows? Big thing in town, they might jack them up. Who knows? But either way, and then to the point where, tickets are generally getting a little more expensive, show to show for your weekly shows and everything like that. It did do a comparison of if you went to WrestleMania back in the 80s or early 90s, your tickets were maybe $30. Now adjust for inflation, of course, but that still doesn't reach, I think, $300, So when you have something where you have so many parents want to bring families to it, you're trying to fill 10,000, 15,000 person arenas every week. And of course, we've seen them not do that for a decade, for instance. So that's not new to anything else. And they're the hottest they've ever been. They're getting the numbers, they're getting the sponsorship deals like crazy right now. But do they become their winding down, it seems, the live shows, which were really accessible, right? Smaller markets, cheaper ticket. Even when I was here in Pittsburgh, I think the cheapest ticket was like $30 at least, not counting Ticketmaster. But it does become a little more expensive, a little more inaccessible. So I kind of wanted to have the conversation from that. Is this going to be potentially a breaking point for this quote unquote rise of WWE? Will they hit sort of a, even SummerSlam wasn't full in that stadium. There's a lot of tarp off on that opposite side, and I don't want to say it's a downfall. I don't think they're going away. I don't think they're going to drop significantly, but it doesn't become a point where if all the people that are watching every week want to go see it when they come to their town, or does it just become a special event thing? We're not seeing PLEs across America anymore. I think I said when we had this one, we had one in Pittsburgh, Payback. What was that? Almost 2 years, about a year and a half ago. It was a September in 23. There was definitely this is the last one we're going to get. As you saw where they were going to the Toronto, to the foreign markets, less are happening here. Unless Pittsburgh decides, hey, we want to bring events in. I don't know. We just got the NFL draft. So who knows, right? Like, we got a big event. Maybe they'll start pulling for a SummerSlam or something, right? And maybe that's the only chance we'll get other than when Cleveland got one. Come on. Cleveland got SummerSlam. Come
Frickin'
on.
Cleveland. How did Cleveland get
As a
SummerSlam?
denizen of Cleveland,
Oh, whoa. These are John's.
I must step in. I will not allow you to impugn the...
Go on.
No, I'm too tired to remember the reputation of my fair city. That is the mistake by the lake.
Sorg. Intern John is a Cleveland kid?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Wow.
Unacceptable. We allow Chachi in here. Well, he's not from
That's
Cleveland. He's just a
Yeah.
Cleveland
Okay,
sympathizer.
It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
We accept all kinds here on this show, okay? Even Clevelanders.
So
It's
while
the,
you,
it's St.
Oops, sorry,
Louis
go ahead.
Cardinals we don't accept.
What's that?
It's St. Louis Cardinals we don't accept.
St. Louis?
St. Louis Cardinals specifically.
Okay, all right. I didn't know we had heat with St. Louis Cardinals. Okay. Riz?
They're the worst. So while you were talking about tickets and stuff, I wanted to get a comparison for myself. So in March, there's going to be a UFC fight at that same arena, or at T-Mobile Arena, I guess. Not at the same arena, but
Yeah, they're in the but the T-Mobile's where Double or Nothing would be usually.
so right now, lowest tickets I've seen thus far are going for $315 a ticket.
Yeah, in an arena for nosebleeds. Yeah, it's a special
So-
event. It's a very special event.
That's why you're buying the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You're buying the ticket to be a part of the spectacle that is
Yes.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is a
You have to
marquee thing. NFL tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah, but at
No.
the same time, we have to look at the quality of what you're purchasing, even for such a special event. Like, if I'm getting balcony seats for WrestleMania and I'm at the front of the balcony, I can see paying $300 for that. If I'm in the nosebleed, if I'm in the very back behind a pillar, have you know?
I've been to Civic Arena.
You've been to Civic Arena.
Where I couldn't see anything but the ring.
You've been to PNC Park. I've had
Oh.
the ticket in PNC Park that was behind the pillar.
Yeah.
And like that's the seat that
Yep.
the ticket was for.
Yep.
They
Yep.
didn't force me to sit there, but that's what it was for. If I go to WrestleMania and I get that behind the pillar ticket and they ask me to spend $300 on that ticket, absolutely not. Not even for WrestleMania, because at that point, how much of WrestleMania am I actually seeing?
It's less pillar, but I think the biggest issue you see with WrestleMania is, this is a good thing, and it's really close to the ring. Yeah, but it's behind the stage, which means you don't see them coming out. You don't see the screens. You got to look up. Hopefully, you got a good angle of that.
Bring earplugs because you're going to be behind
By
the
all the
pyro, and
pyro,
the pyro
yes.
is loud.
Yeah, and sometimes it's fun because like, Stone Cold just came out, or you see them send him a car for some gimmick they're about to do or something, right? So like that's fine, versus we were in the top level on the end in the cold in Philadelphia. No, because I think both the first 2 years, LA and Dallas, we did like kind of more or less not behind but beside the stage, where we couldn't see them like come out the front. We were very fortunate second day that we got the Rev hit me up and gave us his and Shane Taylor's tickets with the Wrestle Travel crew. So we had some good tickets on the far end. So like on the lower level, I was like, that was nice. But anyways, but yeah, so. And of course, we're talking WrestleMania. Of course, that's pretty big. That's a big one. That's going to be a little more expensive. And maybe it's it's Vegas, so maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know. But like in
Even for the
LA,
smaller
LA
ones,
was
I
a little
think
more
you're-
expensive. What's that?
I think even for the smaller ones, you'll see more and more travel. Like you'll see Canada, you'll see Puerto Rico, you'll see some of the Berlin and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Riyadh. But you'll start seeing these pop up because they want that UFC fight feel to it. They
And you're
want
going to a
see
crowd-
stacked stadium where it's going to be loud.
And you're also extending it because we would get Raw, SmackDown, something every like 2 or 3 times a year here. So it's like, oh, I'll see him in a few months. You know what I mean? Which desaturates, stretches. You know, it lessens the excitement from when you come in. But now you're saying, well, we had a holiday tour, and what did we get? That's the first thing I think we've had since Payback, the year before here in Pittsburgh, right? So even that probably did a little bit better. Just because, like, oh, WWE came to town, they haven't come to town for a while. You know, I was pissed because I was sick that day, so had to enjoy the next day. So I want to make sure I was okay. So I missed out. But it does become this is becoming a premium event. So now whether that does anything for the popularity of WWE and the accessibility, it's still going to be a TV product. Most people are watching on that anyways, but still getting people in crowd. I don't know what that does to the makeup of your crowd. Now, what this does do, I think, is make an opportunity for, obviously, God, I'm thinking iPhones now, because now you have your top end iPhone that's like $1,500, and then you have like the SE whatever they just announced that's like a third of the price. So now is NXT kind of making that middle road iPhone SE accessibility point as they do these shows? I haven't seen the tickets for their touring dates or anything like that, but they're smaller venues, obviously. So I can't imagine them charging too much for that. But does it also open up an opportunity for the AEWs? Because they are touring a lot of those towns that are not getting WWE, right? And those tickets are a lot cheaper, I think, from what I've seen, even the pay-per-views. So, they're still building that up, That's not a slight. That's just the position. They're in a building position like that, right? And a lot of the air has been taken out of the room because the WWE's been so crazy. LA was like $150 a ticket for the 300 level. 200 level was about $200 a ticket, says Tina, for that year. And also, Ticketmaster has dynamic pricing, which also doesn't help. So... Roadblock is a pretty penny over 100. She's saying in here.
I was actually
Roadblock.
checking.
It's not even that big of a show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. I was actually checking the schedule for the
Nope, you broke up there. What's that?
WWE schedule.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was looking at the schedule for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know they were going to go international in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm. They usually do before Mania.
They're doing a SmackDown in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to Belgium and Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Italy and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. And these aren't road shows. These are SmackDown.
These are actual shows.
These are not the Road to WrestleMania house shows, but they are doing those too.
They are, and I feel like that's going to be big for their international crew as well, because they're like, oh shit, we're going to have this big crowd now because people want to go to the O2 Stadium and watch this.
So, comparison, Madwin saying that the floor seats for AEW are still over $325 for Revolution. That's what I would expect for Front Row Raw.
Yes.
Typically in the past. So that's not unreasonable, I don't think. For Front Row, are you kidding me? That's fantastic. Versus, let me find a Raw here. That's let's see, Monday Night Raw, Buffalo, New York on Monday. That's a relatively similar market to us, right? Here in Pittsburgh. If you go there, I've been to, it's Key Bank now. That's where the Sabres play. I've been there for a Raw before. Went on a road trip with and that's topping out at 320. Well, it says 324 plus. So let me go ringside here and see where we're at. Let's go. I'll see you probably on camera side, ringside. I can't, they're resales. I don't count that. Okay. They are actually selling, this ticket is for $539 this is a Raw on Netflix, which is probably the top ticket for a wrestling show on television, quote unquote television, right? So still not, I don't find that terribly ridiculous for Front Row, for something like that. Well, actually, this is the 1, 2, 3, this is the 5th row. So I want to see what the resale is on this Front Row ticket. $2,400. But nobody's buying that. that did not start at that. That's the resale bot bullshit things that are out there, which also that does not help things. Are these artificially inflated because of these? Maybe. But generally it looks like the regular stuff is. They're in LA at the crypto.com arena where the Lakers play. Yeah. Also
So
for the AEW pay-per-view. They're at the crypto here in a couple weeks.
It's called the Crypto?
Yes, the crypto.com arena.
Oh God, I hate it.
Oh, it's terrible. The
I
Crypt,
hate it.
the former Staples Arena where WrestleMania 21 was.
Why? God, why? Why?
Oh, they are asking, is the $329 a VIP ticket? And maybe they just standard R. It says $450 plus the service fee. It does not. I don't see an indication that it is the VIP with all the package and everything, but it very well might be. I'm trying not to accidentally purchase this. I'm not going to Buffalo on Monday. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Do it.
No, thank you.
Bad
enough. I went to Michigan in February. So.
Ew, why'd you do that?
Because I got paid to. So I got paid well too. That's the only way they're going to get me there. And then even the person who runs the event is like, why am I doing this in this Michigan in February? I've done it for the last 3 years. Why don't we go south? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Why don't we?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, Florida's nice this time of year. But anyways, interesting pontifications. Let us know what you think of this on this or the TikToks where you might have seen these clips. How affordable are the upper levels where people with kids would go? That's the fan base you need to work on.
And they're not. They're
not. They're not terribly. Not terribly, but you got to think of the family of four thing. The greatest thing I ever heard was Warrior Wrestling. I was like, I could not figure out their model for everything because I saw the tickets were like started at $50 for an indie show. It had some great talent on it. It had your Will Ospreys and Thunder Roses and AEW, TNA, and New Japan talent and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, if you buy a ticket, you can bring the kids for free. I was like, shit. And then it's extra for the Fan Fest to bring everybody in to get autographs. I'm like, damn it.
That's smart.
Fuck, that's good. That's so freaking good. And they're still doing stuff. They just announced another show that has, oh God, is it Mustafa Ali and somebody else awesome is on there. I want to say maybe Wentz is taking on. Zarky Wentz. So keep an eye out for that. Anyways, also other wrestling you can check out, including our guest today, Tatiana's entire TNF championship run over at IndyWrestling.us. And of course, 880 Wrestling is free on our network as well as over on the YouTube page, including Misconnections 3, where actually you had a great main event match with Brianna Bands, which that's got to be something in the history books there regarding that, right?
So it was the first ever all-women's main event in 880 history, which, some people would say that's not saying much because we haven't been around for very long. But the fact that we've been around for a couple of years, and this is the first time that we've just had two women in the main event duking it out over a championship, no less. That's really important because that means that's a way of telling our audience that, like, we will put anybody in the spotlight as long as they are able to earn it. It does not matter who they are or what communities they represent. As long as the community is not full of assholes, I should specify.
There you go. And this is a very, like, intergender, I don't want to say heavy, but doesn't shy away from it, promotion, you've been on plenty of matches. I mean, your title you defended mostly against, not women. So during your run and everything. So that stars aligned for that is actually pretty incredible. And Brianna's another one. She's only, I think, a couple years in the game right now. Has been doing great.
I think she is just now approaching the end of year 2. She is very new to the game and she's incredible. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of that match.
I think I recall she had a match with Shaza Boatwright, and I think that was her first singles match. Sassy. Sorry, excuse me. But like that, and that's pretty cool. Proud of the Brooklyn crew. I think the T2T Brooklyn crew up there. We got a lot of the talent at 880 Wrestling from that. So, So you were in the main event against Nick's Wild in the first show in the new location down there at the South Side for 880 Wrestling. And that, tell me a little bit about that. You're a feature again on the first one there where you won that championship.
Oh man, I have so many emotions when it comes to Nick's Wild, because we were friends from before their career even began, all the way up until they decided they wanted to go into the business for themselves. And then they went after Reese. They had their whole thing. I came back from injury. We had our whole thing. It didn't go well. And then they went and had issues with other people, as they tend to do nowadays. And I didn't think that door was going to open again. I was ready to kind of let it close. And then I saw how they defeated, oh my gosh, it was Reese and somebody else. And I feel very bad about forgetting who all was in that triple threat. But I watched them win that triple threat at Penn Brewery, and something clicked in my head. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not letting this rest anymore. I wanna try again. I'm fully healed up at this point. I'm not just coming off the shelf anymore. I've been back. I've been consistent. I'm back in my groove. They've not faced me back in my groove, hungry for something that I believe I can do better with. Like, it's just been friendly banter up until this point, except for that return match, which wasn't full speed.
And the update, that was Mikey Montgomery in that match.
Thank you, Mikey. I'm so sorry. My brain's not here today. And it was a great match, too. That's what makes me feel even worse. It's like, it was a good match.
Listen,
I enjoyed
there's
it.
a lot of wrestling that we do at 880 Wrestling. It's okay. It's like, that's only, it's like 3 months ago, which means it was like a year ago for us. So, because honestly, like, listen, like, I say this often, but 880 Wrestling has done as many matches in the first 2 months as most companies do in a year. So between our training shows and everything, so which I know they're training shows, for us on video and everything, but they're I will put the quality of those shows up against a lot that I see on the indies, regardless of what's going on there.
Well, we've managed to put on a lot of incredibly quality matches for free. Like, that's insane. Is that you can just watch these matches for free. You can watch careers begin and progress and get better and better. Like, if you look at like how Gianni Michael Enrico, Nick's Wild, Reese Hayes, the Fourth Line, Brandon St. James, and Casey Moore, if you like look at the beginning of like their careers and now look at them now, you can track like the points for each and every one of them where it like clicked and they got good and they like found their momentum and their groove and whatever you want to call it. And you can watch it. You can just go in and watch it. There's no paywalls. There's nothing holding you back. There's no dip in quality because Sorgatron Media is excellent. And that's just so wild. So many people don't get that. I did not get that. I had 2 matches at my home promotion before things took a turn before things took a turn.
Before the current exodus.
Before I left.
Yes. Let's leave it at that.
And like, there's so many matches that I had after that point that just never saw the light of day. There's so many matches that like, I was told, oh yeah, we recorded this. And then that footage vanished.
The black hole, I've heard it referred to a few times.
Yeah. And it wasn't just like one location. It was many. There was, back when, prior to him coming out fully, I had an incredible match with Aiden Von England. And that was one of the best matches I had had up until that point. And like, I was so proud of it and he was so proud of me. And we were so excited. And then we were told that the videographer was holding the footage hostage and most likely was not going to give it back.
That's so shitty. That's so terrible. I damn it. And it was probably it was over money, it was over whatever, and I hate that. Like I hear that story so many times in versions of that story, and it's just like take care of everybody on your fucking crew, man. So.
Oh, absolutely. But there's so much to watch when it comes to AEW. You're right. It is easy to kind of get lost in translation, but I'd like to be consistent.
Well, let's talk about this. Like we've talked about many times, both on the show and off. You've had you've been at it for how many years? You've been doing this again?
I have been active as a wrestler for 5 years. Next month we'll be approaching 7 years in the business. It will be 7 years since I began training and stepped into the ring for the first time.
So, and obviously you've kind of had a stop and go with injuries, right? So, and everything, right? But, and I finally expressed this after that main event with you. We talked about like seeing wrestlers click earlier when you're talking about this crew at 880. And I feel like, even I had a conversation with your trainer here a couple weeks ago, about this, I've been waiting for a while to see that click on you. And it really, I think, happened around this championship, and wanted to see, does this progress? And for the last like 2 months, it's been really, you've been really kind of finding that zone, right? What is it on your side? Do you feel like you're in a better spot that seemed to happen recently? Are you perceiving this kind of click happen, or is this just another day for you and you're just proceeding and trying to get better? Like, I think that's really interesting because people are seeing things, but are you seeing the same thing on your side?
Oh, it's just no.
Yeah. Like someone's like, "Oh, that was really great." Your gamer's like, "Yeah, it's Tuesday,"
So the click actually happened before the title run began.
Okay.
At least on my end. And it was a moment during a match, and you're gonna know what match I'm talking about. I'll keep it vague for the audience just for reasons. A match I had got cut very short. It was not supposed to be. And it was cut short due to a couple of miscommunications, and it was all resolved after the fact. But I remember standing in the ring and looking at my opponent, and in my head, I just thought, okay, I know exactly where I'm going to take us to. We're going to do the beginning, and then I'm going to tell them to do this, and we're going to go home from there. And that should 3 to 4 minutes right there. And we did. And it ended up being about almost 5, I think. But like, we did it. And the crowd still enjoyed it. We still got their stuff over. We still got my stuff over. The crowd was happy with the ending. Everybody was safe. Everybody went back upstairs uninjured. And as I was walking upstairs, like, there was that anger inside of me because of like, well, my match got cut and that sucks. And we're not even going to go near the anger I felt when I found out what all happened later. But as I was walking up, I was like, wait a second. I just fixed that whole situation. No matter what caused the match to be cut, no matter who I might have pissed off or who they might have pissed off, no matter what's going on, I just fixed that. And the crowd is none the wiser, and they loved it anyway.
You did the business. And yeah.
And there was just like a moment of like, okay, I think I've got this now.
Okay. Awesome.
And then when I did get the championship, there was a different kind of shift. Because like that feeling of like, I've got this, it didn't go away. But when I got the championship, there was a shift in how my opponents started treating me. It went from being, not pulling the curtain back-ish a little bit. It went from being like, oh, we're having a fun match and we're doing goofy stuff with each other, but also do a little bit of hard-hitting stuff. It became, no, this is a championship match, and we are wrestling.
You are no longer, because there's a period where you were just the person that got murdered. And you were really great at getting murdered, and some of those gifts look so fucking brutal, right? So I'm like, I don't know if you're just in the crash dummy phase of your career or what's happening, But and
I'm so trusting of the people I step into the ring with.
yes.
And so they're confident in the things they're going to do to me. And then something happens and a mistake occurs. And now I'm getting hit in the back of the head with a trash can.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Tuesday. This is
You know what? I think that's another reason why I forgot who all was in the triple threat match, because that happened a week after I got beaten.
Head injuries are real. Like you can't fault any wrestler for forgetting shit on a show like this.
God, that's.
You know how many bookers I've been like we're literally talking about something and it was like, you told me this like 10 minutes ago. I was like, oh, sorry, what's that? You're like
Yep.
multiple. We've worked for all the same
That's why I
ones.
don't talk to anybody. Sorry.
That's why Riz doesn't talk to anybody. Riz doesn't talk to anybody, and he gets weirded out when Hornswoggle comes over and says hi and asks him questions.
My
Doing my
coworker-
job.
Yes.
My coworkers at my shoot job are like, "Why are you always writing every little thing down?" And I'm like, "If you were to
Let
take an
me
X-ray-
show you a GIF.
if you were, listen, I'm gonna show you a picture,
Yes.
and I need you to understand that this was that I felt all of it." But yeah. At first, I thought that that switch with my opponents and with how I felt about going into wrestling matches, I thought that was just an 880 thing because that's my home promotion.
Yeah.
That's where I spend the most amount of time and I wrestle the most.
It's where you've been, and you've as a lot of people are doing, kind of rebuilt there.
I needed that. I needed that space, as it turns out. And I thought, okay, well, this is just for here, and I'm still going to figure it out. And then no,
You've become a
past-
belt collector.
I like the shinies.
Yeah.
What is the one? I saw you with the biggest belt I've ever seen. Where was that?
That was the 1CW Women's Championship.
It was when I gotta find this thing.
So, the funny part of that particular championship was I was doing a photo shoot.
1CW?
1CW. It's based out of Delaware. I miss 1CW, and they recently suspended my forever favorite opponent, Adriana, and that's a bummer. But they need somebody to
I
fight.
found the show poster, I guess.
There's pictures buried.
I found your match, but I'm trying to find a picture of you with the belt. Oh, 'cause I'm on Bing.
It'll probably be if you look me up.
Is this the one? No, this isn't the belt I'm thinking of. If this is it, this is oh no, there we go. What's that one?
So that
that's something else.
That was the Eclipse Women's
That's
Championship.
Eclipse. Okay, all right. That's not the one, but it just generally came up. I'll find it.
So I was doing a photo shoot with J Lee Photography. They're incredible. And now they have a puppy that they bring, and I love that dog. But I was taking pictures with the belt, and Mr. Grimm walks over, and he looks at me. He goes, "What the hell? Is that your championship?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Is that the size of you?" And
The size of you.
it was on my shoulder, and I moved it, and I held it in front of my chest, and the whole room just looks over, and you genuinely could not see my torso. It was head, shoulders, championship, hips.
That seems about right. That's what I remember.
And he's like, "Oh my God, you're hiding behind the belt." And I'm like,
I've seen belt envy backstage. I've seen people. I watched somebody pick up a belt and be like, "This is nice. I'd like to carry this around," kind of thing. So, and
I had so many people just walk over, and they would just take it, and they would look at it, and they'd hold it up. They'd compare it to me and be like, "This is bigger than you." Marvelous.
oh my God, I think I found it.
One of the Monster Factory kids, Marvelous. He's my height. He's a little skinnier than I am because he's shredded and has abs. Unlike me, I have rolls. He held the belt at one point. He was like, "This is too big. This is too big. I don't feel like this is too big. This is too heavy for me." I'm like, "Oh, dude, there it is."
That is huge. That's ridiculous. It's like you won a belt buckle contest in Texas.
Yeah, I could have taken that to Texas and probably won. It's like it doesn't matter if I win this competition or not. I'm clearly a champion.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those like insanely huge belt buckle deals that do down there?
They're so good and they're so bad at the same time.
I think it's the trophy for like some of the bull riding competitions or like the big belt buckle or something.
Oh gosh, yeah, I think you're right. Actually, they're so big and ridiculous and corny, and I love them. I don't want any of them, but I love them.
Well, at least you don't have to take that thing through TSA, right?
So I did take it to work with me one time back at my old job.
Okay.
Because I showed a picture of it to my coworkers, and they're like, "That belt's not real. That's Photoshop." And I go, "Oh yeah." And I went outside. I pulled it out of the truck, and I walked in, and they all went, "What the hell? Why is it?" They're all looking at it. They're like, "What?" Because they were all shop guys too, so they're like looking at this thing and just thinking about the metrics of making it and designing it and how much metal you would need, and they're like, "This is why? Why is it this big? Why is it this big? And you're holding it."
Pondner's saying it's better to have a big belt than a small belt. Remember when Nyla had the tiny AEW women's belt when they first started?
Oh yeah.
I've always hated, like, I think, did NWA's belt used to be like like when they brought it back? Was it like the tiny one? I think because Camille was showing up with it at AEW. I think at the time.
I think it was a tiny.
They're trying to make it look like the old one and everything like that. Like the NWA championship looks like the old school one, right?
Well, like,
not the big gold belt.
The problem with women's championships over the years is that, like,
too many of them are pink. First off.
That's a whole other discussion. Well, the problem is that, like, a lot of women's belt designs are based off of, like, old-fashioned belt designs for women's championships. But the problem with those was that the designs were kind of sexist in the fact that they were meant to, be a symbol of you're the best woman in the company, but you're not as good as our smallest men's champion. Like, it was always like there's always that little bit of sexism that's like it can't be as big or worse, bigger than the guys. And so while a lot of companies obviously are not creating their belt designs with that mindset anymore, because women's wrestling has had such a massive evolution the past 5 years, when they try to emulate those old designs are based off of those old ideas. It's kind of it's hard. That's why I think
that's a full-size belt.
That's why I appreciate the design of this belt so much. This is the same size as every other championship in OCW.
It reminds me, I think it's about the same size and looks as glitzy as the new 880 belt Gianni's walking around with.
It's about the same size. Yeah. His is a little cooler because it has the 880 letters that just like pop off the belt.
Okay.
Which I don't think picks up as well whenever you're watching at home.
Yeah, that one, I like that one because it's got a little bit different color to it, so it pops a little bit more. So we just need some more time with that belt to figure out how to work with it, So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on holding it for a while. I genuinely enjoy holding many championships. And listen, if I do lose it, I still have the pizza championship.
That's right, the pizza championship.
Which no one will fight me for.
Oh, we gotta fix that.
That's why John had to blindside me, because the last time he fought me for a championship, he lost and got covered in pizza sauce.
Well, you know what? Now that you're I mean, obviously you gotta get a rematch somewhere along the lines here, but if that doesn't work out, at least we could always bring back the pizza championship. You know what? There's a barbecue happening in the summer, probably. There'll be a good time, I feel, for the pizza championship to come back.
I will put the pizza championship on the line against anybody that wants to come into town. That's the thing. I want to face an out-of-towner.
Yes.
Because, like, that belt deserves to be traveled with.
The Mad One is saying, how have you and Mambo Italiano, I know that's not his name now, not had a fight for the pizza championship?
I don't know.
We need to work on that. I mean, he's done a pasta death match. Go, you do a pizza death match? Can this happen?
No, I don't want to do death matches. That's not for me.
I mean, no. Are you familiar with the pasta death match? Have you seen this?
I saw clips of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it though.
Good.
Listen, I
That's a
spent
good
a whole
comment.
year being so deeply ingrained in the deathmatch and hardcore life, not doing any of the matches, just like, I was working with all those companies that were doing it for a second. And I still don't understand a lot about that.
All you need to know is the phrase pizza-based weapons. It's all you need to start with and go from there.
Oh, God. Okay, fair enough.
And probably invest in a tarp.
Yeah.
Like, imagine putting your opponent through one of those small tables that come in with the pizza box.
Yes.
It's just like, yeah.
Ooh, like, yeah. Like you just like you have the Crown Royal bag, but it's all those little tables that are holding the pizza box up. That'd be worse than Legos.
Oh, God. Sorg, Sorg, you need to stop going to hardcore shows. You're getting ideas.
I know.
Listen, every once in a while, you just got to see something a little fucked up, okay? And that's what I did this weekend. And I went to H2O on Gory's recommendation. It was either that or CZW, so I don't know which would have been worse. But I saw some shit, and we're going to talk about that. Tatiana, the current OCW Women's Champion. There you go. And just concluded a fine run, inaugural Southside. You are the inaugural Southside TNF champion.
They can't take that away from
They can't
me.
take that away from you. Making history here. And then we're going to talk some more. I think there's a pay-per-view coming up this weekend, which probably, because people remind us at the end of the show. We're like, Rumble, whatever.
Oh, shit, we forgot about the Royal Rumble.
We're going to talk about some more wrestle stuff, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about my H2O experience. I want to shout out some people that I think people should be watching out for that I saw on that show. And we will be right back after this.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin,
And we're a gay.
and his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
We are back. It is the Wrestling Mayhem show. The Riz is still around here with us.
I'm here.
And also the unwilling Tatiana.
Hello. I've been here the whole time.
Yes. I forgot the countdown. 4 minutes goes quick. 4 minutes goes quick. We didn't mention, by the way, this Friday, I didn't get to make a commercial for it yet, unfortunately, because I've been busy. But this Friday is the return of Top Rope Tabletop. I'm excited for it.
It is, and I am very excited for it too. I was responding to a family member.
Oh, okay. Are they watching the show?
No, they were trying to. Moving
on. Top Rope Tabletop.
D&D. It's coming. It's back.
Yes.
Friday. There's going to be so much dice. My bag of dice has gotten bigger.
It's gotten bigger. There's a new head of this. Tony Kincaid is DMing. We have some new production elements we've been working on, or I should be working on. So a lot's going to be going into this. It's going to be a little bit different vibe, and I'm excited for. It's kind of a reboot of some of sorts.
It has. I know for a fact we did not mean to take this long of a break between like starting the new session, but it honestly kind of felt like the best because we all needed kind of a break.
It's an energy reset.
Yeah, it's an energy reset.
You need that.
We needed just like a break from like having this monthly commitment, just like, just have a quick little off season. Especially since like a lot of the big changes are within the game. And those are things that we needed to kind of prepare for and get used to, kind of decide, how we're going to work with these new elements. I'm excited. I'm playing a character. I'm playing a character type and a class that I've not done before. So I'm very excited to try those. Keith is going to be at the table this time, which is awesome. It's going to be so good.
Yeah. Keith Haas going to be a character, not just the DM, which is all the characters, but and everything. No, I think it's very cool. Like you guys have been doing this. This started as a COVID project, and it's kind of grown over time, and it just needed kind of a reboot. What?
Every time that it's brought up that it was a COVID project, I just remember that it kind of started because of me.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember how we got to this.
Okay, so the timeline goes, we're all stuck at home because of the pandemic, and I get the bright idea one day to run a D&D game with my wrestling friends. I've never DM'd before in my life, but I love D&D, and I want to do the thing. So I put the post out, and a bunch of people respond, like a lot of people. So many people responded. And then only like 5 of them actually committed, which is about right for D&D.
Which is where we're at.
That's anybody that knows D&D
accurate.
just went, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
There's an early one where everybody was on, I don't know, I presume we were on Zoom or something at this point.
We were on Zoom. You can see me frozen at the bottom because that was before I had my own spot. And my family's Wi-Fi is awful.
I love Justin Idol randomly has a dinosaur in his shot and the American flag.
Yeah.
That's like somehow that fits.
Oh my god! But
this quality is so bad.
It was terrible. It was nobody's fault. We were working with the best.
No, we were trying to make it work. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I ran a couple of games privately, and then Keith was in both of those games because I needed help. I had never DM'd before, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then Keith suggested, "Hey, how about I think Keith had reached out to you at some point to say like." And
this is something I've wanted to do for a while: is have wrestlers do a D&D session like as some content here. And again, we had no content because we were, and you can say we never got back to a lot of it. This is if you're on video, this is the time where we're social distancing in the studio.
Yeah.
Because we're like, I think we can get together. I think things are lifted a little bit. And then we sat everybody with cameras all over the studio, all over this wide space of the studio here. Oh my God, we still had the desks in here. We literally only had this room for the studio at that point.
I don't know how I managed to get the couch. I don't. but I managed to get the couch. Oh, that was back when it was playing Hixalian. And
Look
I
how
did the
everybody's
makeup all the time.
separated.
Yeah.
This is so funny to watch now.
Oh my god. Oh man. But yeah, so Keith was like, Hey, I've been talking to Sorg. Sorg wants to stream it. How about I run a game because I have experience DMing? I'm like, please, dear God, yes, take over. I don't know what I'm doing. And we had the first session, and yes, the quality was terrible, but it was a funny little adventure. And then we just kept doing it because we didn't get to finish the adventure. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and here we are.
There you go. I like it. And then if you want to see this, if you're with us on video, that's kind of what we've kind of landed on for a look for this show, at least. So, yeah, no, some fun stuff there. Looking forward to it. It's something different, and glad to see this reboot. And we even have, I think we already have a date for March as well, which is kind of we never did that. So
yes, that's one of the elements that we've like sort of switched up is we're trying to be more on top of like having these dates pre-planned,
kind of treating it like a wrestling show.
Yeah,
like as far as like the booking and everything of it. So which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, a while ago, I think back in like the beginning of the second season, we like just kind of had a quick sit down and we're like, you know what, we got to start treating this. We got to start treating these like bookings. Like everybody's got to be here. If you're not going to be able to make it, let us know way in advance so we can work something out. Like treat it professionally.
Yeah.
Because even back before we were streaming, we had that issue where like, I mean, wrestlers were like saying, yeah, I'll be there. And then they just didn't show up. And then 20 minutes into the session, they'd send me a text saying, oh, yeah, I decided to go somewhere else. And I'd just be sitting there annoyed, like, well, okay, great. I was going to find a way for you to like come in. And now I guess you're just not a part of the story anymore. Cool. A guy who was playing a cleric did that, and that did not bode well for the rest of the party. They did not have a good time.
Coming on, and I'm hearing some noises from you. Like you kind of deal with this, like in not wrestler world, just
Not
D&D
wrestler
world.
related
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
world
this
of
is
wrestling,
this is
but
everything. Like
it's happened. Getting together with people with D&D is fun whenever it happens.
I have trouble just even getting together with my friends for a coffee these days. So I know.
I mean, Sorg. I mean, I never got invited to a coffee date.
Riz, would you like to go to coffee? No, you just come over and we play video games. What are you talking about?
That's true.
I
That
mean,
is true.
that's
We
our
play
thing.
video games.
So
Whenever I'm not stiffly and stuffy and stuff. But yeah,
I thought you said
I mean,
stiffly, and I'm like, what?
Sniffly.
Sniffly.
Got you. Anyways, that'll be Friday night on all of the IndyWrestling.us channels for free. So go check that out about 7 p.m. I think we're going to aim to start that thing. So yeah, and I got some couple new pieces of hardware, maybe a little bit slightly new setup. We're going to try some different things here as we
vote in the comments what color of dice you would like me to use.
Ooh, there you go.
Because I guarantee you, if you can think up a color, I probably have it.
Fantastic. Turquoise.
I do have turquoise.
Teal.
That's the same.
No.
When it comes to dice, that is the same color, Sword.
Yeah, it's the same color. Yeah,
It's the only colors I can think of. Violet.
I have violet dice.
Violent violet.
I have violent dice too because I have multiple.
Violent violet would be a good
that's a new
code name
alliteration
for you. What's that?
That's a new alliteration I can add to the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've got botanical badass, mid-sized magnolia.
Violent violet.
Yeah.
Have Matt Flash growl that one this week.
Maybe I have.
Violent.
That's a weird thing. I'm actually not going to be at TNF this week.
Oh.
Management. Let's just say, I left the show very sore, and they decided it was for the best that I take a week.
A
or
little
so.
space.
They want me to take a little space, so I'm going to take a little space. And I'm
So I got here, John. Do his thing, whatever you call that.
Sorg is just mad because he's in the book.
Yeah, I'm in the book.
I'm mad because he used the book on my partner for life and me within a 2 week span. That man has receipts coming.
But not for his book.
Still waiting for my copy.
That's right. That's right. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Couldn't find it in the Barnes and Noble. Anyways, before I forget, oh God, I should mention Elimination Chamber. I want to mention H2O. Geez, where am I at? What do we want to say about Elimination Chamber? Well, it's happening. It's going to be a chamber. They're going to do some wild stuff. Somebody's soul is on the line. And is there anything else of interest this weekend? I mean, it's gonna be fun. See, I think we talked about Sammy and Kevin. We talked about the Cody situation.
We talked about it.
Is there anything that's kind of gotten your attention, Riz, over what's going on at this show?
I'm actually excited for the Chamber.
Oh, I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's gonna be
the same reason I was excited for the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. It is Rumble 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening. I have some clues, but I don't
Soul
know
Taker
what's
Rocky Maivia. Is that his real name?
What?
That's from Mad One in the chat room.
Nobody knows what the Soul Taker's real name may or may not be.
Except for Hank Hudson.
He keeps saying
Hank
a name.
Hudson knows everybody's real name.
I forget who it was. I was talking to somebody today, and they're like, I'll say his name. I was like, okay, pal.
Oh, I think it was I don't think he goes here anymore.
I don't know. No, it's not that one. No, it was somebody else.
I will never forget the time he got his hands on an 880 microphone.
And everybody held their breath.
And for good reason, as it would turn out about 5 seconds later.
You know what? I got the same thing when Enzo picks up that mic at RWA next month. So
wait, Enzo's on that show?
Enzo's on that show, yes. So woo, and Chachi's gonna be directing that one, and I told Chachi, I'm like, have fun, buddy. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Enzo's a character. I've heard many stories about him backstage at shows. So but yeah, I've experienced them at a couple shows too. There's always a story, and knowing that crowd, I think there's going to be a story. Everybody, Riz, you're gonna come back with an Enzo story that week.
I'm going to come back with an RWA story that may top the first time I went to RWA.
I hope Enzo comes over just to talk to you like Hornswoggle did.
It's going to be fun.
Sorry for that.
No, you're not, Sorg. Don't lie.
No, sorry, because I popped the mic when I reacted. Will EO beat Rhea, and who wins the women's chamber? Oh, boy. I guess we can pontificate here for a moment.
I don't know who all is in any of the chamber matches. I just know I want Logan Paul to lose and go away.
I want to be the first one out. Please. Please live. He's not allowed in Egypt anymore, by the way.
I know.
So that just came out. That's the second country he's been banned from.
Okay.
Listen, and by the way, side, I don't know if I talk about this show, but Dominic Mysterio trolling him about going to Japan is fantastic. He's like, oh, Japan was great. You ever been? Why don't you go? And then also, somebody on Undertaker's podcast explained to Undertaker what the deal was and why he couldn't go to Japan. It's what did he do?
You know,
it was like, well, he was a young kid. I'm like, well, he's still a young kid. So yeah. That's the proper response. Anyways, Elimination Chamber. Got it on the big screen over here so you can see who's involved in there. Roxanne Perez is an interesting addition to the women's one. Alexa Bliss is a part of it as well. I see they've already updated Liv's picture with the women's championship, tag team championship from last night.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, right. It's just funny when you have a team that's on top of things. But anyways, Naomi and Bianca and Liv and they did kind of. Well, no, we have one tag team in there, don't we? Technically, so
for now,
for the
we do.
moment.
You know what? I kind of want Elimination Chamber to be where Bianca turns heel.
Yep.
The winner will end up against Rhea, presumably if she beats Io. Right? I think I got that math right. Because Charlotte has already picked Tiffany Stratton. So, which makes sense, you know.
Makes sense. Get out of here, Charlotte.
Yeah. Do we have to cue up the song again? The Charlotte 40 Weeks? song? Have you heard the Charlotte song?
No.
We'll send it to you and we'll show you on Patreon.
Yes.
There you go.
Charlotte's a really good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave that there. And
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
She's good. You cannot
good.
deny her ability and what she's done.
everything
So-
else I have to say is not nice.
Oh boy.
I'm totally
Okay, we'll save that for Patreon. Riz, your thoughts on the women's match here?
So I think we're going to get the blow off of that, of the whole Jade Cargill thing.
Okay, she's gonna pop up and
She's going to pop up like what was it, Undertaker through the bottom of the.
lightning
Of the
will
thing.
strike the cage, and then she'll come up from under a panel on the side.
But yeah, I think
Storm is coming. Is that
because
what they say on
the
the song?
storm is coming.
Yes.
Oh, God,
Honey,
that's-
you got a big storm coming.
It's gonna turn out like Naomi took her out, right? Is that what's happening? Is it Bianca took her out? What's
I
happening?
think it might be Bianca.
You think of Bianca? You know?
Okay, it should be Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
The WWE has a really bad habit over the years of like they'll set up the swerve and
Okay.
the whole audience guesses correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this person did it because they're showing the signs of like,
Mm-hmm.
not being all there or just being a little bit more aggressive than usual. And then the other person turns so that they can get that aha plot twist. And it's like, no. It's dumb and it doesn't make sense. Just keep your original plot twist. If your audience guessed it, that means you did a good job of setting it up.
Don't over twisty it. From the
They
chat.
did that with the New Day too.
They did. They actually
because
that
we were
was
like, oh,
that was done really
Xavier's gonna
well.
turn.
That was a good
Oh.
turn, though. I approve
And they-
of what they did there.
It reminded me of what were those two little gems in Steven Universe that like fused because they had a mutual hatred of Steven.
I think you're talking to the wrong age group here.
Aw, man.
Riz, you're close.
What?
Chat,
No, okay.
chat room.
Listen,
It's one of
I'm
your
pretty
nose.
I'm pretty sure the three of us are representing three different decades of growing
Yeah,
up. So
pretty much.
yeah, like he's DCOM, I'm Saturday morning cartoon, and you're whatever Steven Universe is.
I'm not actually. That's the worst part.
Okay.
Steven
Yeah,
Universe
no,
is technically
I'm
after
from the
my.
Steven Universe generation.
Oh, we got 4 decades.
Oh, okay. Intern John, do you know which gems I'm talking about? It's okay if you don't.
I do not. I don't know enough about Steven Universe.
Dang it.
No.
Fired.
The Steven Universe is not in the film study program.
No, but I did watch Space Jam at 9 a.m. this Monday, so
Which one?
the original.
Okay, good.
Good.
I don't see anything wrong with higher education. Do you?
Nope.
I need to rethink my classes at Point Park.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Sorg, speaking of Steven Universe, rest in peace, metaverses.
oh no, that was the DC one where Batman could fight Marvin the Martian.
Yep.
Man, wow. WB can't win any of them. On the men's side, though, did we go through all of our women's picks and thoughts?
I pick.
It was Ruby and Sapphire, according to the research department, by the way.
It was not Ruby and Sapphire because Ruby and I'm gonna tell my pick and then I'll get into a thing about that because that's not correct.
no.
That is
Oh,
a
no. Oh, no.
That is a
Oh,
fusion.
wow.
That's not the one I'm talking about.
This is not about dice colors. Okay, I got you. Damn. Okay.
I'm gonna pick Roxanne Perez because I think that'd be a really good swerve. Because here's the thing: if you have Roxanne Perez go over, you still have the ability to like get all the story beats you want out of it. You can have her set up some sort of feud, whether she wins or loses, out of the Elimination Chamber opportunity, I should say. But,
She was the longest running in Royal Rumble, breaking a record.
right. So she has a precedent going into this.
I'm not opposed to President Roxy.
I am not either.
There you
I
go.
really am not. She'd do a really good job. But yeah, I feel like in my mind, we get the Liv Morgan getting, beat up by the rest of the women because they're all tired of her shit. We get Bianca Belair turning heel and potentially Naomi turning with her. I could see like them just being bad bitches together and being like, yeah, no, we don't like Jade because she kind of just swooped in here and took everything without doing as much work as we did. And now that they just take it out on everybody, I could see.
What about Bliss?
I can see Bliss.
What about Bliss?
Dang it.
Have they done much with her,
it's
though?
either in my mind, it's either going to be Roxanne or Bliss.
So, and I think she's going to pop up with this new Wyatt Six in some form too. I think there's going to be some interactions there. So, from the chat, Man1 says, sorry, new glasses are weird. I can't side eye anything anymore because I got progressives. So I go to so the three-way they were looking at was Io, Rhea, and Bailey coming out of this in some fashion, which is very possible.
I can see that. I don't know if I want that right now. I like Bailey, especially as a heel, but I don't know if I really want her to be in the title
been
picture
very
right.
face lately, though.
She just kind of came back. There's no momentum to really put her there.
She has been going, but she's been going crazy. She had a week. CM Punk was putting over like 2 weeks ago or whatever when she did Elimination Chamber, I think, qualifier on Monday. She did an NXT, something on NXT that week. Friday was something. She did. Oh, that was the NBA All-Star game. And then she was on the pay-per-view for NXT in that like 4-way, was it, for the championship? So like she had like a rock, like she's not cold. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
like she's in a like big representative mode right now. So
Yeah, there's a reason why they're pushing her a lot.
Yeah. So could be related, could be not, could be just adjacent.
There's 3 roads that it could go down and it wouldn't be a bad call.
Yeah.
I obviously have one that I prefer because I think that like having Roxanne go over on everybody, just that lights a fire under her. She's a fresh face. She's got the momentum. She's got the history. I just think that works better in the long run.
There's a lot happening in Steven Universe in the chat right now.
It's because somebody said the wrong fusion. I know why they got
there's some other stuff going. Yeah. There's
all right.
Jasper and Lapis.
No, it was not Jasper and Lapis.
Maybe something else.
Okay, guys, I am talking about a very specific fusion.
Not all fused gems in Steven Universe hate Steven. Some fusions, particularly those formed out of anger. Did you copy this from Wikipedia?
Oh my God.
Can indeed display hostility towards him. Most notably Sugilite, a fusion of garnet and sapphire, and malachite, a fusion of lapis, luzol, and jasper due to the negative emotions involved in their creation.
Yeah, I'm not talking about those fusions. I am talking about a very specific fusion that happened towards the end of the series. And it was 2 gems that had been in earlier episodes as separate antagonists that had paired up because they didn't like Steven and they thought that as a fusion they could take him out easier. And the whole plot of the episode was that they kept unfusing because they couldn't agree on anything. And then at the end of the episode, they realized they could agree on one thing. They fucking hated Steven. And they fused properly. And it was a interesting message. It was a good episode, but it it didn't have like any of that like, oh, you can find unification in any way, not just like the typical ones you see in fairy tales. It had that, but it also like set up an arc that was going on for Steven. I am talking about that specific fusion. I'm not talking about the other shitty fusions that happened because there was a couple. Lapis and Jasper, that was a bad one, but that one kind of had its own metaphors and symbolism going into it. This is specific. It was in one episode only, and it just made me... to me, that specific fusion parallels the New Day turning.
Damn it.
Because, I brought this back around.
I was going to reply with, and this is a preview of your Elimination Chamber on the Steven Universe Mayhem show. Anyways, the men also are doing men things in a cave.
Men.
Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, bisexual Undertaker, Damon Priest, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, and...
Are we just calling Drew Shrew
CM
McIntyre
Punk. What?
Drew McIntyre.
Shrew? No, I almost called him
It's
Galloway
Shrew
for some
You said
reason.
Shrew McIntyre.
Shrew McIntyre.
The shaming of the
Shaming of the Drew McIntyre. Oh my
Shaming
God.
of the Shrew.
Listen, Rusty, hate will keep us together. I don't know if they're talking about wrestling, politics, or Steven Universe in the chat room right
Yes,
now.
the answer,
The answer
yes.
is yes. I see a lot of possibilities. I love the John Cena wins and CM Punk cashes in his favor to get into the three-way kind of that was brought up. I do not see a Drew, Damian, or Seth, or God help us, Logan Paul happening here. I think this is a Punk or Cena show.
I disagree.
Okay.
I want Drew McIntyre to win
Sure.
because you get that heel factor of like, aha! I proved myself right. Screw all of you. I'm going off to do the thing. And then he either wins it all and lauds it over everybody, and you let Punk and or Rollins chase the title, or he loses by way of interference from Punk and or Rollins. Continue that story.
I was going to say, yeah, the whole Punk just dressing down Logan is completely a setup for Mania at this point, isn't it?
It could be.
Yeah.
But here's who I think is going to win. I think it's going to be Logan Paul.
No.
I genuinely think it's going to be Logan Paul because unfortunately, he is getting the second biggest reaction in the WWE right now. You can't top Dominic Mysterio because that man has good heat.
Yeah.
But Logan Paul's go away heat is pretty loud.
God, New Jay was getting some pretty rough heat there for a minute too. Yeah.
They've got some good heat too.
Yeah.
But because everybody just genuinely hates Logan Paul, people are making noise for Logan Paul.
I got a side note that I just thought about with heat and stuff. So I just, somewhere along the lines with TNA and NXT, I think they said to Moose, watch out for that parking lot or something. Like they said to somebody, it was like, oh, it's wild around here, you know?
No,
and
the NXT, nobody talks about the lore of the NXT parking lot and just how many people's careers have just ended.
yeah. Like, and I love, like it's an inside joke on the show now, you know, about it.
Oh my God, what's his name? He literally disappeared in the NXT parking lot until his contract expired, and then he went back to New Japan and got.
Oh, Kushida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Kushida.
Lost in a time warp in the parking lot.
He was. He got hurt. Everybody knew he was. They were like, he got jumped, and then we just never saw him again.
Oh my God, the parking lot's playable in the new game, which comes out in like a week and a half or something. Oh my God.
Throw your opponent into the NXT void. Watch them disappear and come back on the indies with a new name.
Exactly.
Somehow only lasts 2 weeks while they think of a better one.
Do you think they're going to work the WWE ID into this? Like, here's some no-name indie talent that you've never heard of before.
I'm a little worried they might.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man. Nobody's going to get a big head from that.
I don't know how I feel about that. Because, like, here's the thing. The big upside is, like, you get Marcus Mathers, Bryce Donovan, all those ID kids getting, like, a bigger
Potentially
audience.
Sam Holloway, apparently, right?
Yeah.
He's on that list.
Yeah, like that. If they get put into the video game, great. A bigger audience gets to see them, it gets to play as them, gets to learn their moveset and go, wait.
And they get a little bit of money. Well, I heard they get stipends and stuff for what they do. Like at this point. So I've heard that through the grapevine. So
the grapevine has, from what I've heard from the grapevine, is that their travel is accommodated, and
Yeah,
I think that's probably the biggest thing you can.
my
get.
God, to have just that you're not worrying about at this point of your career,
That's
doing
so-
indies, tremendous.
That's so good.
So
I just worry about because I know that there's horror story. Oops, sorry.
wandering from the mic.
I'm sorry. I don't like grabbing things.
It's a weird thing for a wrestler to say.
Bad things happen when I grab at stuff, okay? People have stomped this hand.
Moving on.
There's
Before somebody clips that.
Sorry. There's horror stories from college basketball athletes that have been put into video games who didn't
Oh yeah.
who didn't get compensated.
That was but that's like the NCAA is like terrible with that stuff.
Oh no, I know,
And,
but it's just like it brings up those worries
Absolutely,
of like I don't want that to happen to these.
And you always wonder, what did they sign off on with likenesses and rights and right of refusal and things like that? Like, I think it's inevitable. I think generally it's a great positive, and it's great for the talent and everything like that to get like. I mean, how many people do we know that we look at, that we work with on a regular basis? We're like, how the fuck are they not signed, right? They definitely got a look, or ended up going to AEW because they didn't go there. This is a way for them to, obviously, also, this is an obvious way to be like, hey, don't go start doing dark matches over in AEW. We got you. It's like another way to reach further into the talent pool and, well, we can't bring you into the PC now, but keep working on it. But now we'll help you keep working on it for you to come here. Like, it's, I think it's like, aside from NCAA, NWA and NFL are doing these like, reach out kind of things where there's these lower leagues or flag footballs or things like that. But that's another talent pool that doesn't have to deal with the NCAA and go through college and all of that. They're pulling people in that don't have to go through that process. Again, just a bigger talent pool to pull the best from, right? You will have a horror story. It will be sooner or later. There will be somebody that wanted to do something. Maybe it's an AEW, maybe it's going to do New Japan, maybe it's something like that, and they and WWE puts brakes on it, or something. Everybody's going to be unhappy about something, and not going supposedly their way or something like that, or misunderstanding it. It's inevitable.
Professional wrestling will like each other.
Yeah, and also, wrestlers having problems with things and not understanding contracts. But yeah, I mean, but that doesn't mean, I don't think that's going to mean it's a bad program. I mean, that goes into everything else you hear about people, both companies being put on the shelf or, issues backstage and let go for no obvious reason, et cetera, et cetera. You hear about it all the time, and it doesn't, this is just the nature of things. So, but anyways, hoping for a TNA DLC with Joe Hendry. Oh my God. Have they announced the DLCs yet for that game?
They have not.
They must have some cool stuff coming up then, right? As long as I don't just get like Pat McAfee and his buddies again.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, what the fuck are these guys? What the fuck?
What, you don't know Boston Rob?
That was a weird week on not My Rise. What's the one with the tokens and cards and stuff? That's like mostly
My
what
Faction?
I play. Is it My
That nobody-
Faction? Yeah, My
that nobody
Faction is
really
mostly what
plays?
I end up playing on 2K, honestly.
Really?
So yeah, that's kind of just.
You're the one person?
I'm the one person. I don't know. It's like it's an easy drop. I don't get to play it as consistently as I would like, so that's like an easy drop in for me. So it's scary how little hours I put on 2K for as much as I pay for it. But that's why, Riz, you and I are going to have the most epic My GM season.
Yes.
I realize, I'm always afraid to use Game Pass streaming on my phone. Well, one, because I haven't had glasses that I could see my phone until lately, but also like, with the glitches and the streaming and everything. And now it's like, oh, my GM mode is actually perfect for playing on my phone while I have like something on. So yes.
Right now, the only ones they have, like
The release
for
stuff.
for the release date ones, like they have the Undertaker ones where you can play as old Undertaker.
Oh, we got more Undertaker variations.
You can also play as toy Undertaker, and also have Brother Love as the manager.
WWE 2K25 almost made Samoans immune to headbutts.
Yep.
They should have, right?
Should.
I mean, that's just
Extraordinarily funny.
canonical.
I did think for a moment there that you were going to say, oh, they have the Undertaker ones. You can play as the urn, and I don't know why
The bull urn.
I'll
that's
take
what
it.
I thought
I'll
was
take
going
it.
to happen.
Now, hang on a second. I don't want that to be a feature in WWE 2K. I want there to be a WWE expansion pack for Prop Hunt.
Yes.
And you just
Oh.
get to turn to the various WWE things.
What was it? Hidden
including-
Treasures, right? Is that the show?
No.
No, we're
Prop
talking
Hunt
about
is a
like
video
in the
game.
video game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Prop Hunt, real quick, is a point and click game where you basically, it's basically hide and seek, but the object of the game is that if you are hiding, you get to turn into various objects in the setting that you are based in, and you have to basically set yourself up to look like you're part of the scenery. And then the hunters have to come and find you, and if they think you look too strange, like I've turned myself into a lamp, I post myself up in the corner. If I'm sitting like this, if I'm sitting sideways, whoever's hunting is going to be like, oh, there she is, bang. But if I hide myself well enough and like stay still and keep silent, they might just pass me thinking I'm a regular
this
lamp.
is like, is it Cake but with people?
Yes.
Okay,
It
that's
is
all I needed to know.
Markiplier doing Prop Hunt is hilarious because they are just constantly screaming.
So, what we do know, you said about Undertakers. There is a Wyatt 6 pre-order pack.
There's that as well.
So, and it's with everybody in Wyatt 6.
And then there's also the Bloodline pack,
The Bloodline pack.
which
and
is
then
Nation of Domination Rock.
we do know that we're going to get that button. Dead Man Edition pack also includes Brother Love as a manager.
Yep.
And there is a usable urn. Usable urn. Yes! You partially get your thing.
The Undertaker mask who was it? Mabel broke his
Oh
eye socket.
yeah, Bloodline Edition pack has Jey Uso Elite,
Toy.
Roman Reigns Elite, and the
The
Rock
toy.
Nation of
And The Rock.
Domination era.
I like how they're
interesting.
this is the fourth time they're putting in like action figures as playable
Oh
characters.
man, it's so weird.
Oh, wait, no, they
Like,
did this
action
for the-
figure Cody
they did
Rhodes
this
was
for
so
John Cena,
weird.
too.
Playing metal jointed
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes as a wrestler, against other Cody Rhodes was like a lot of fun. Anyways,
But Intern John actually made me realize something, and I have to say this.
mm-hmm.
One of the best hidden gems in professional wrestling games, besides Fred Durst. Fred Durst being in Shut Your Mouth was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the hidden gems, I think, in professional wrestling video games was actually playing as Al Snow's head in Attitude.
Yeah, didn't
Was
it
Attitude
float
a-
or something?
What?
Didn't it just like float? It was just like a floating head.
It had a head,
Yeah.
and it had hands, and it had feet,
Mm.
and it was just blank. the rest
That's
of the way.
so strange, but so. You said it was on the WWF Attitude, so like on the PlayStation.
I want to say it's Attitude or Warzone.
It feels like an Attitude one because I don't think they played. They were just. I feel like they were just trying to get that out of the door when they did Warzone. And they're like, now we're here.
Yep, it is Attitude.
Yeah, that seems right. On that note, hey guys, I want to give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, the OG, the original, right up the tracks here in Beachview, helping feed us here on Tuesdays because otherwise I'd forget, and this would be a lot sadder show. So thank you to those guys for helping us out. Slice on Broadway, so many locations in the Pittsburgh area. Riz frequents them very often when he's doing his travels across the city. I don't leave the south side usually. It's
I
south.
barely leave this house.
Don't cross a river. Anyways, but I love the guys. Good to visit them again here this evening. Let's go find out what did everybody learn from wrestling this week. Chat room, please chime in as well. I will start. I did say I was going to do this segment, and I guess I am going to do it here.
You're doing it now.
I'm
Sword.
doing it now. We're doing it live. So again, I was in Philadelphia over the weekend. Had I was doing some interviews with some teams for my client. And at University of Pennsylvania, right there, pretty central Philadelphia. So I was like, well, hey, I'm in freaking Philadelphia. There has to be some wrestling happening. Turns out, no wrestling happening in Philadelphia. That's weird. I forgot. Most of the wrestling happens in New Jersey. So I was not able to go to, I saw Monster Factory had a show, a $5 show, but it was at 9 p.m. on Friday. And I did not sleep much. And I had a early call time. So I decided, no, that's not going to happen. But I did find out that there was an H2O show. Thank you, Jason Gorey, for reaching out to me when I asked if there's anything closer than Atlantic City, because the other option was CZW was doing an anniversary show in Atlantic City. Ref George was out there. I think Junie Underwood was on that show I saw.
Yes.
So fantastic. And it would have been great to see those guys, but I need sleep. So I went to check out H2O. It was a interesting experience. Again, this is one of those kind of familiar with, it reminded me of OVW a little bit. It's like it's an office park in kind of a warehouse out there that they've worked out for this thing. There was like a party rental store right next door. That because they were talking about like somebody was parking in wrong place, but and there was a whole like I talked to somebody about like, so wait, did I park in the right place? Like it was a lot of fun. It was like they had the first couple of matches. I was like, okay, these are kind of interesting, kind of rough. I figure it's like a lot of trainees and stuff at their shows, right? Like that kind of situation. Then we got into like a Lego death match situation, and things kind of picked up a little bit. Hold on, I got the poster here so I can figure out who's who. So, this is unreadable. This is not loading the full resolution. This is a problem. But basically, like I got to the show and realizing, oh my God, Matt Tremont's on the show. Oh, it's his promotion, isn't it? Right? And Homicide's in the main event. So it was a fun surprise to see those kinds of things. Couple interesting thing. They just call it Anything Goes, but I thought they called it a Lego something when they announced the match. Another one was a tag team Taipei death match. Okay.
All right, I'm pulling up.
It's for the H2O Control show. It's on their Twitter. Their Facebook hasn't been updated since the fall. So point throw that out there. Before I get into like the craziness, two guys I want to call out that I thought I was really impressed with. That I can't freaking read this stuff. What the hell? I had the poster, but it's like not full resolution for some reason. It's not loading. They had a lot of stuff with the TWE championships. God, I can't pull these up now. And
I'm trying to pull it up.
They are not readable. Aaron Wade was one of them, who is the sensei. That really stuck out. Hold on. Of course, the technology is not working live. I should have downloaded these. Yeah. And the other one was part of the Gig City Championship. All right, moving on with that bit. I'll get into the funky stuff, and hopefully this thing loads. But in the meantime,
okay. So I've got it, and I can kind of figure out. So TWE Championship match was Aaron Wade versus Gigi Everson.
Yes, Gigi was the big guy. Aaron Wade was definitely doing like a sensei karate guy. I wanted to yell sweep the leg, but he was very good.
I don't know if okay, so circling back to earlier in the conversation, I used to work with H2O, and a lot of people on this poster are people that I worked with and got to know early on in their careers. So Gigi's good people.
Gigi's good, yeah.
Among them. The Anything Goes match was Homicide and Lowlife Louie, who's been around forever.
Lowlife Louie is the one I was telling you about earlier. This is one of the sickest things I've seen in person.
And I'm not surprised at all. Love Louie.
So there's a lot of stuff. This match has barbed wire wrapped around the backside of the three ropes, right? Mm-hmm. And just plunder everywhere. At some point, I'm watching Homicide fight this guy, and I don't know who the other guys were. They're resident heels, I'm sure. They're pretty well hated. And I all of a sudden see what was his name again?
Lowlife Louie.
Lowlife Louie running around. He has a fork stuck in the center of his forehead. I don't even want to show you the picture. It's the one that I wouldn't even put on Blue Sky. And he's running around the ring screaming, and it's wiggling.
So Sorg,
stuck in his head.
I was gonna say I can see you doing that, but the camera was on me. That yeah. Running around. Yeah, we'll get the reactions. But I'm looking at this one here, and it's on me all the time. Running around, it's wiggling in his forehead.
And I'm just like, that is not okay. So, and there's a lot of messed up stuff you saw that night. There's no class of this show. It was like mostly just kind of a plunder kind of thing. There were like beds of Legos and one of the things I love when I go to the show and I'm like, I've literally never seen that before. Like this bit here where they took an ice skate.
Oh, that's JB. So that's JB Anderson taking that. I think that's okay. So, you know what? That might be Manhorn doing that.
Manhorn seems like the right name on there. Yeah.
So it was Snack Pack, which is the team of JB Anderson, who is the lovely.
There's your sensei right there.
There's
Aaron Wade. Who's I thought was very good, very cool, great sensei heel. Oh yeah, they started with a chicken fight with boxing gloves.
I love that so much. So Snack Pack is the team of JB Anderson and Jess Moss versus Kennedy Hardcastle and Manhorn. Manhorn I'm not as familiar with, but I was very close with the other three. I still am pretty close with JB. He and I run into each other quite a bit, especially when I was working Delaware. He was down there quite often. But yeah, they're all delightful human beings. And
there's some from the Type E tag match.
And that is Anthrax.
Anthrax? Which one?
The one doing the stapling.
No, those are that's the glass.
Oh, that's the glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Type A deathmatch glass thing. So, I appreciate this because they came out and this is definitely a very Juggalo crowd. There's Matt Tremont. They came out the Corporate Avenger FBI files and everybody knew the words. I'm like, oh fuck, this is my crowd. Holy shit.
Why do
Literally,
I feel like that was
I was sitting there and I pulled up and I think this is one of the wrestlers in the match. Pulled up next to me. I had just got done listening to Ned and Game from Great Malenko, and this dude pulls up next to me blasting bitches from Jekyll Brothers. And I was like, all right. I guess I'm in the right place right now, right? So, and I'm not even near Detroit, So that was earlier this week. But no, good match there. They had a classic. Matt Tremont had he called it a classic IWA Mid-South match. They're really good. Like they're putting stuff in the corner, and they're doing gossip plates and everything, and starting the blood. And then they have a whole box. It's one of those Aldi's boxes, and it's got salt, it's got lemon juice, it's got lemons, it's got hot sauce.
Sorg, it says the match is called Salt and Lemon Juice, like Home Run Derby Death Match.
I couldn't read the poster, Riz.
Like it says it right there.
Listen, I appreciate this, and this is a lot of fun. I have a couple issues with this. Okay, I was sent the Facebook, and there was no recent show info on it. I was like, oh, this is for tomorrow. No, that says June. Wait, this is 2024. I found their Twitter. And I think via IWTV. IWTV had the time. Their poster did not have, I think, a time, and no address, just said H2O Wrestling Center. And then finally, as I'm sitting in the parking lot, I find a match graphic that has the door time on it for 6:25. And I'm like, 6:10, fuck, I guess I'll just sit here. I told you this before the show. And the rest is going to laugh at me. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I walked, drove around this thing. I see a door and a window say H2 on. I'm like, okay, that must be the entrance. That's kind of weird. Everything's blacked out, but, I guess there's a wrestling show, whatever. So I'm waiting, and I see people kind of trickle in. I was like, doesn't seem like a lot of people going in there. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. We'll just wait until 20 till or something. And was just fucking working on stuff on my phone. I go up. And I should have had the clue because there's two guys working out a match right around the corner. I walk up and I open the door and I'm just like, oh, that's a locker room. And I'm like, okay, fuck, here I go. So there's me. I'm wearing my Ninja Turtles fucking hoodie and show up on this thing. And one guy runs. I was like, oh yeah, it's around back. I'm like, okay, thanks. There's no markings on the other door. Zero. Zero. If there weren't a bunch of people and the door was open, I never would have found the entrance to this thing. And I appreciate there's a lot of regulars that come here. And I even told the guy at the front door, he was asking me like what I had or anything. I'm just like, dude, I found out about this show 2 hours ago. I literally found out about this show like 2 hours ago, and I'm here. So, like, what the fuck do I do for tickets? So, and I sit down. Well, actually, I go and get in line for the one bathroom because apparently that's the standard for wrestling shows. And the guy that directed me was like, "Oh, fine, you good, you made it in." And like I said, I think he's the guy from that match. Yeah, that was my experience with H2O. But generally, after we got into it, great show, fun show, cool deathmatch stuff. No, what did it say? New Jersey deathmatch scene? Is it?
That's H2O. Oh God, I miss it so much. I haven't been there in a couple of years, and I miss it. It's a really good pinnacle for like the New Jersey hardcore scene. I wouldn't say the New Jersey deathmatch scene just because like it's not full. It's like it's hardcore. Yeah. It's not XPW where there's glass every match or anything like that, right? It's not like, and I did appreciate it escalated. I had this conversation about Ricky Shane Page's show he did with Clash that I worked on. Like, it escalates as you go, and the matches were actually different. It wasn't really just the same thing over and over again, right? Yeah. I had the privilege of working there twice, at least in a wrestling capacity. I worked there, I don't know how many times, just doing ring crew and like. But no gusset plates for you? No gusset plates for me. No lemons on gusset plates like this is. God, that's... What the hell? I don't even know who would have come up with that because so many of them would have gone, cool. God, I don't even want to show some of these pictures. They're going to get us pulled off so many platforms. Jeez. That's for Patreon. No gusset plates for me. However, I remember earlier you mentioned how like one of the matches had barbed wire wrapped around the ropes. Yeah. Hold on, I can actually show this one. H2O. Yeah, just like that. Mm-hmm. H2O is where I have this one story of me cleaning up a hardcore match and trying to slide under the ropes and trying to be careful because the ground was covered in the ring was covered in glass, specifically light tube glass, which is very delicate and easy to break the skin. And in the process, I got stuck on the barbed wire that was in the rope. Specifically, my hair got stuck, and one of the trainees, I think it was Anthrax actually, who was working at the time, but like was also mostly doing ring crew. And he walks over, he sees me just laying there and he goes, "Did you get stuck?" And I go, "Just shut up and help me." Because I could see him like already starting to getting ready to make fun of me. And I'm like, just get me out of this. Get me out of this. He's like, "Okay, I got to get in the ring. You're too far in for me to like help you out here." So he goes and he starts sliding in, and then I just see him jolt, and then he's not moving, and he looks up at me, and we're face to face. We're both on our bellies in this ring, and I go, "Did you just fucking get stuck too?" And he goes, "Shut up." So we just sit there for a moment, and then like I like reached out and I grabbed the first person that walked by and said, "Get us out." It's just like, this is like a comedy bit. The ring is getting cleaned up around us, and we're just stuck in this barbed wire. It's a comedy bit, but involving barbed wire of all things, right? So, anyways, so we got plenty of what we learned from the chat room here. I gave you guys a lot of time here, but no, it was fun. It was good to see Homicide. It was good to see a great speech at the end of that, and it was a lot of fun. And like I said, sometimes you got to see something really fucked up, and that was the nice. Like, it was nice. It was nice. I had a pleasant night. H2 is a really good spot to go for that kind of thing. And it was only like 30 minutes out of town. It was not like there's shit around there, so you can grab a bite to eat and stuff like that, right? Even if it's just a Wawa. Dave Bonner learned never trust an author. Also, yeeting is so over, it really feels like a new yes moment. Yeah, I think you could never trust the author thing. So I know a couple authors. Why did you do you trust them? By the way, we just published the book over at fishingwithoutbait.com. That's the opposite of this show. You've done that show before. I have done that show. Beastman just did that show. Nice. Yes. He mostly talks about love for the first 2 episodes. It's very interesting. Mad One learned that the Hardy Boys pop being so loud that notably partially deaf Miles Bourne heard it is an incredible flex.
Okay, all right.
Damn.
Tina says, what I've learned is Mariah and Tony are angling to do a Hollywood backlot brawl type of match. That's what I thought too when I saw that promo today. And I am here for it. War Dogs, Death Riders, maybe? Oh, please. Oh, please.
Yes.
I want to see Gabe Kidd and go at it with Moxley and Claudio and just fucking have fun. True Prince Pro Matt Birch out there. What I learned this week is something I already knew. I'm really appreciative of IndyWrestling.us for archiving so much of Pittsburgh Wrestling's history. It really made it easy for me to go back and research for a project he was working on today, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you, Matt. It is the unspoken mission, actually. So, we were just talking about how much of you have trouble finding some of your career and stuff. I have stuff that is not mine that I have in my collection from a project, ill-fated project that I think where you and I started working together. I really wish I could share with people, and I'm actually kind of glad they started sharing it. So somebody finally got the fucking message over there years after I've been yelling at them. But yeah, no, I there's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of people came through here, and I'm definitely not in it to make money. I'm, and you can tell that by how much we throw out on free from stuff we produce.
Friends, not to make money.
Well, yes, I'm the anti-CM Punk, and the Friends thing hasn't worked out terribly well sometimes either. So, sometimes it did not end well. But anyways. But no, I'm glad I'm able to do that kind of thing. And I'm loving, by the way, shout out to Scotty over and Enjoy. Did you see the Jack Pollock video
That was so
with all
good.
that old classic stuff in there? Holy shit. Does he make my show look so much better than it is?
Scotty is such an incredible video
I
editor.
love it. I love
seeing
it.
Stuff he pulls off.
I love it. I made the mistake of concentrating on live. But anyways, that got me a couple places. But I'm still doing corporate videos, but not on that level. This is why I'm hiring Scotty for work, actually. We're going to be jamming on some stuff outside of wrestling.
That's going to be such good stuff, though.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to see what he does with some of this stuff. Yeah, he's going to be... He's been tagged on 4 of my... He's basically replacing me as I do something else in that project. So I'm like, I need another me, but that's better than me. So, he did one job with us last year, and it was just like, yeah, you're my fucking guy. Let's go. So I'm very, very pleased at that. I'm very pleased to be working with them for Enjoy Wrestling coming up here in under 2 weeks, right? Week and a half?
Yeah,
Yeah.
March 8th.
March 8th. It's Mr. Smalls. That's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Y'all won't see me there.
Oh, no, yeah, you're busy.
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
North Kakalaki. Are we allowed to say that still? What?
Sure.
I don't know. That's what I've
I mean,
always heard that.
you guys are. Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got, well, okay, we'll give him a minute. Yes.
You guys are gonna miss a wedding.
I'm going to miss a wedding? Oh, yeah, that's right. Sunny Kiss and Billy Dixon. You know what? I always cry at weddings. So, anyways,
It's fine. Billy contacted me before, and I set him up with my assistant so that they'll have a good flower arrangement for the show.
oh, good. Oh, good.
So my work will not be there, but my assistant's work
Your
will be.
your presence will be felt of sorts. Tatiana, what did you learn recently in wrestling?
I don't know.
It's a bad week to ask you that, I know.
I learned that books are dangerous. I learned.
Books are dangerous. Banned books. Books are now banned at listen, it's not the group to do it, but there's going to be a book ban at 880 coming up soon.
Oh man. I hate to say this because I don't like talking about myself in these kinds of respects, but I learned that I'm actually a decent wrestler now, and maybe I should start bringing that confidence with me whenever I try to get myself booked, because I don't know if I can really trust anybody else to say it for me. Not because anybody's out to get me, just because nobody's bringing my name to the room. So
You have to be your own biggest cheerleader sometimes.
Exactly.
That is one thing I still struggle with. I can tell you that.
Thank you for saving me and saying what I was trying to get out.
Yes. Riz, what'd you learn?
I learned the next few months are going to be fun, Sorg.
That could mean so many things.
That was
Could
really
mean so
vague.
many
That could
things.
mean so many things, man.
I mean,
Are we talking
starting
about-
next week,
Oh, what?
we are on the road to Mania.
Oh, shoot.
To Mania.
Mayhem Mania.
What, Riz?
I got the call
You got
from
the
a certain
call
somebody
on the landline, on the Riz phone.
from the mainstream one himself.
It's a red phone shaped like Riz.
Yes.
That's
The
terrifying.
giant head of the phone. But yes, starting next week, we're going to have some fun.
We're going to have some fun.
Mayhem Mania is going to Vegas
Wait, what? We are? Wait, we are? What? What?
within the confines of this area.
Oh, are we like
We're
creating?
not actually
we're-
going to Vegas.
Oh, okay. I just say I didn't think Patreon was doing that good.
No,
I
we're,
just-
we're not. Like honestly, if anything, like I'll just have like a background or something like this, and then it just comes up like this.
It's a spinning roulette wheel the entire time.
Yeah. It's just the spinning roulette wheel of like Scott Nash, the eagle, the hawk behind me,
Oh, God.
Bradley's face here, Bradley over here, just something. Maybe I'll have a backdrop of Las Vegas here. You know, make it special.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Mayhem Mania is returning.
It's happening. It's happening. I know we do have the Pit Fight Kids are going to be coming in for around their show here at the end of March. So looking forward to that, having those kids back here. And kids, I think most of them have graduated by now. So we'll see how that goes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tatiana. Tatiana wrestles on most platforms.
Tatiana wrestles on pretty much everything but Blue Sky. Blue Sky is something else. I barely use it.
You got to get a .com.
Yeah.
You got to get .com and you got to connect that thing. You're at.
Listen, it's on the way. I just have to find time in my schedule to
You
do
need a
it.
social media manager. We got people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Help. Yes.
Help you
give
connect to
yourself
all
a
the
link
doodads
tree.
and make it happen.
I
Good to
need.
help you with the DNSs
Listen,
and
the
the
vision is there. I just don't have the time to do the thing.
DNSs and the A records and the skeets and the
I just need a website
Clerks,
link, and that's what I'll send it to
there
everybody.
you go.
But, like,
There you go.
vision is there.
You just need that link tree situation.
I have a
And
link tree. I just don't use it. Yes, Tatiana wrestles on everything. Tatiana the Wrestler on YouTube, which I haven't been updating, but I promise I've got stuff. I need to.
just show
I-
playlist some 880 stuff. You know, I just made a playlist for Jack Pollock and MV Gung of everything we have on YouTube, and that was so easy. So, just saying.
I need to edit the videos and then I need to post them.
Oh, that's a playlist. So you bring all your matches over if they're posted.
Oh, I should have clarified the vlogs that I used to do.
Ah, the vlogs.
I did start filming them again.
Those were fun. Yes.
They were fun. And I have two that are filmed and just need edited and posted. They are way out of date now, but it doesn't
That's
matter.
fine. Get them out there. That's okay. I did it. Well, I won't get in that part. Did an interview with a couple that I can't use anymore. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Top Rope Tabletop is Friday, IndyWrestling.us platforms, as well as Thursday night fights on Thursday, apparently. Also on all the platforms where we're training our video students, including intern John, who's been rocking the socials for us all night long. And thank you, Riz. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Mayhem Nation. Until next time, Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.